Well, hello there. Welcome back to Joshua Tree National Park. This is our second day here in Joshua Tree. And for today's little adventure, we're going to be going up through some of the central mountains of the park towards the Silver Bell Mine. I'm just kind of on the tailgate right now, prepping the gear. I got to put sunscreen on because it is sunny today and I am still pasty white from a long winter of spending way too much time indoors. But I'm very happy to be back out here. So let's get some gear prepped and get hiking. So you can see here where the actual old access road for the mine used to be, this diagonal cut going up and around this little finger coming off the mountain here. So falling into that same category of mines that were active here until the 30s and 40s that all got kind of shut down when sustaining them and running a mine operation out here with no water, no wood, no resources kind of became unsustainable. Well, there's the old mine. Got another like 200 feet left. A lot steeper than I thought. It really makes you wonder where some of this wood came from, because the nearest forest that'd be able to produce wood and boards this size are probably about 30, 40, or 50 miles back to the west in the coast ranges. And you have to cut that, mill it, and then transport it all the way out here, probably by mule team. They didn't have too many accessible roads coming through here for trucks back then, and then be able to have enough of it to actually build the mine facilities that you see here. And it's still really in great shape for being almost 100 years old. The dry desert air is keeping this stuff in really, really good condition given the circumstances. All these old bolts. And you can see the truck all the way down there, back at the road. It was probably a little under a mile to get up here, but nice hike. Really good views. You can see how this was the site of one of the quarries here, had that rock wall there with all of that really metamorphized gneiss and other types of metamorphic rocks. It's just been cut away for them to expose anything valuable that might be in there. A lot of the mines here are looking for precious metals, so gold, silver, copper, whatever else might be buried in the crust out here. They're trying to chip away at these rocks to help expose. And if you can see on this little ridgeline that we're on right now too, there's a little bit of a faint trail that leads to another mine site just down the ridge. So I think we're going to walk there next. Yeah, looking back now, you can really see the amount of cut and fill that happened on the side of that peak as it kind of chipped material away from the mine. So we're going to keep going just over this little part of the ridge here. There should be another mine just past this finger. Well, now you can see both mines at once. So here's the one that we were just at, the Silver Bell Mine. And then there is our new objective over there, which I'm pretty sure is the Golden Bell, unless I have the name horribly wrong. But we're kind of having to bushwhack a little bit of a trail through here. It is still established, it's just not very well maintained. So we're gonna go here, right along this little saddle, along that finger, down to the draw, and back up to the next mine shaft. Honestly, one of the biggest things I'm paranoid about today is stepping on one of these rusty nails. The last thing I want to do is fall victim to tetanus while I'm all the way out here with no cell service. Well, you can tell that someone lived out here at the mine site. There's about a double-sized mattress frame just hanging out here. I don't even want to guess when the last time someone slept on that thing was, but I hope it served him well. So I'm guessing this had to be some type of quarters of sorts, because there's another mattress frame in the middle of the rubbish right here. And if you look in this little pile, there's some old cans and other types of food supplies. So my guess is the actual mine operated up there, but whoever the current crew was lived in this little, I don't know, 15 by 20 bunkhouse down here. There's some more rubbish down here too. So you got a 55-gallon drum that's sitting down here, and then what looks maybe like the hood or the trunk of a like an old utility vehicle. Kind of hard to tell. Everything from this point up is so dilapidated and destroyed. It's never usually in the same spot that it stood probably when this was abandoned. So it's very hard to kind of deduce what everything is at this point, unless there's a super obvious clue, like the mattress frames. This one's easy at least. You got a big water trough here, and then it's all twisted now, but the pipe that used to bring this water down with water pressure to the living quarters. So I don't know, you figure how much of a pain it was to probably try to keep this thing stocked up, especially during the summertime when it only rains a couple times in August and September. And then keeping that water clean enough for the crew, whoever's sitting here, to be able to use it for, you know, bathing and drinking. And now for the piece that you probably really came here to see. Here's the actual mine shaft, and then another little cavern over here on the side. Doesn't go back that deep though, maybe only about 20, 30 feet. Here's the actual main one. Obviously closed off, and for good reason. You'll see reminders pretty much all through the park, and I will serve as a reminder too that anytime you're dealing with abandoned mines, you're never to go into the mine shafts. They've done a pretty good job of barricading this one to prevent that from happening. Two main reasons. One, this thing was abandoned almost 100 years ago, so there is no guarantee of the material condition of any of the supports in this mine. And also, two, there's an accumulation whenever you're dealing with mines of toxic gases and other materials in there that, you know, very, very easy to get trapped inside, asphyxiate, and then you're SOL at that point. But does it make a cool little stop when you're touring the national parks? Absolutely. It is intimidatingly deep. I have no desire to see how far down that thing goes, so I'm happy just to be viewing this thing from the outside. Once you actually find the mine shaft though, you can kind of start piecing together how this thing was organized. So you would have your mine shaft there, all the raw material would come up, and what this dilapidated structure behind me most likely was a sorting bin. So when they had the actual ore they wanted extracted from the mine, they would bring it over here to the sorting bin, and then all of the other slag, all of the other rubble would go into this massive pile of fill over here behind me. So you'd have two distinct sorting areas for the material you wanted to extract. And of course too, way down the hill now, you can see where our buddies, the miners who used to work this thing, would hang their hats at the end of the day. The views today are absolutely gorgeous. We had some pretty dense overcast last night, but that all blew out this morning. And with the exception of the wind that I'm sure you can hear on the microphone right now, it is just completely gorgeous out here. So I'm gonna take another minute to kind of soak this view in, and then we are gonna go back over the little saddle here, make our way back to the truck. It's times like this too that you really kind of have the realization that if it wasn't for the miracles of GPS and modern maps, you'd really be wandering through here without a clue of where you are, and it just kind of puts into perspective where you are and what you're doing. See, what that trail does give you though is just an unprecedented view of the rest of the Pinto Basin. I'm guessing it's at least 20 or 25 miles from here until that next mountain ridge that you see out on the horizon. So this is one of my favorite views from the first time I came to the park. I'm happy that when I came in today, I drove the road in from the south to take me through there first before getting to the trail. And this is a really nice chance of having some perspective to look back on it. Yeah, doing a lot more bushwhacking on this hike than I intended. All Trails says there is a trail here, but with the exception of like some really faded footprints I'm finding in the sand from whoever else probably followed that on All Trails, really nothing else here. Not too big of a deal though, because the truck is right there. And we're back. Hope you guys enjoyed tagging along for another little adventure through Joshua Tree. It was our last full day in and around the park, so tomorrow we're gonna head over further to the south to a new campsite. But yeah, rock on, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. See ya.